Hello everyone, this is Revathi M, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science, Artificial Intelligence and Data Science, Dr. SNS Rajalakshmi College of Arts and Science. In this series, we are already discussing about the introduction and programming to data science. Today we are going to discuss about the clustering. So the clustering, let us begin with the basic idea of clustering. Clustering is a type of machine learning where the computer groups data by itself without any labels. That's why we call it unsupervised learning. The main goal here is to place similar data points into same group, which we call a cluster. So here, basic principles, evolution matrices, common algorithm applications. So these are all clustering. So the group similar data points into clusters. So this helps us discover hidden pattern in data that are not immediately visible, especially when we work with very large data set where manual analysis is not possible. Next, we see the introduction to clustering. Clustering is a items are grouped together while different ones are placed in separate clusters. The important point to remember is that we do not give any predefined answers or labels to the model. So no label data is required. Here user to discover natural data structures. So it's hidden pattern recognition. So clustering is mainly used to understand the natural structure of data. That's why it is widely used in the data mining, pattern recognition and exploratory data analysis. So here is the example for the clustering processes. Next, we see the types of clustering algorithm. There are different ways to form clusters and each methods work differently. Some algorithm divided into fixed groups while other build clusters step by step. Each type of clustering algorithm has its own strength and weakness. So choosing the right algorithm depends on the types of data and the problem we are typing to solve. Here the sum of the clustering algorithm, partitioning methods, hierarchical methods, grid-based methods and density-based methods. These are all the types of clustering algorithms. So we have to select the correct algorithm for suitable data. Next one is first we will see one by one. First one is a partitioning algorithm. So partitioning method divide the data into a predefined numbers of clusters, which means we must design the number of clusters in advance. The most popular is k-mean. So k-mean is the popular example for the partitioning method where data points are grouped around the mean value of each cluster. Another method is k-methods, which use actual data points instead of averages. These methods are simple and fast, but they are sensitive to the initial starting point, which can affect the final results. So K methods. Next we see the hierarchical methods. So the next algorithm, hierarchical clustering builds cluster in form of tree structure. There are two approaches here. One is a agglomerative and another one is a recursive splits cluster. So it's called as a bottom-up approach. It's called as a top-down approach. So individual data points and gradually merges them into bigger cluster. This is called the agglomerative cluster. It starts with all data in one cluster and split into step by step. A major advantage is that we do not need to specify the number of clusters initially, and the results are visualized using a dendrograms. Next, we see the density-based methods. Density-based methods from cluster based on how closely data points are packed together. So DB scan is a popular example. It group dense region and treats isolated points as noise or outliers. This method is very useful when clusters are irregular in shape. Optics is another technique that handles data set where density values. First one is a DB scan, another one is a optics. So these methods are excellent for real world data with noises. Next, we see the grid-based methods. So it's divided data space into grid cells. So it's the data space is divided into small grid cells. Instead of checking individual data points, the algorithm works with these cells, which makes it very fast. So Sting uses statistical information from each grid with click Sting is used for the statistical information of cells. Click works with high dimensional data. Because of the structure, grid-based methods are efficient and suitable for large data sets. Next, we see the evaluation matrices. After clustering, we need to check how good our clusters are. Evaluation metrics help us measure clusters quality. So the score tells how well each data points fits within this cluster. The Davis Baldwin index evaluates similarity between the clusters. CH index checks between us versus with the variance. So it's true, labels are available. External matrices can also be used for comparisons. Next, we see what are the applications we are using in the clustering. Clustering is widely used in real life. In marketing, it helps companies group customers based on behavior. In computer vision, it is used for image segmentation. In text analysis, documents are clustered based on topics. In cybersecurity and finance, clustering helps detect unusual or fraudulent activities. This shows how powerful and practical clustering is across industries. So we come to the end of the section. So we conclude the section. Clustering helps discover meaningful pattern hidden in data. So it reveals the hidden data patterns. Since different algorithms work better for different types of data, selecting the right method is important. So we use the different algorithms. Then after we select the algorithm, we have to evaluation matrices, self-measured performances. Then we discussed about what are the applications we are using in the clusters.